So PowerPoint offers us vast possibilities for creating and illustrating our own visuals, and this is what we are going to do. So we will do that by accomplishing 4 steps. First, we will find the inspiration, then we will follow our shapes, edit points, and try to assemble the story. When I talk about finding inspiration, my slides are a bit different. Okay, yeah, here there are just quick mention, few shortcuts. Perhaps I'm sure that you know most of them, but like these are some that I really like to use when drawing in PowerPoint, which is like group object, ungroup object, bring forward, bring front, da da da. Anyway, I will try to avoid using them, but this one is one that you might want to memorize. It's just Command, Option, and G. And what it does is, for example, here we have 3 different shapes, right? And so if I take one shape, now I have to be very careful how I move the other shapes. So what I want to do is actually just select all 3 and click Command, Options, and G. And now I can move these shapes in whichever way, and I don't need to be specifically focused just to move each one individually, one by one. So that's why group object is really cool tool. Yeah. So how are we with the time? Oh. Okay. Let's start sketching. We have our process of creating the idea. We know what we want to show, what we want to visualize, and now let's find inspiration. And by finding inspiration, think about your field pictures, sketches, or do some web research of your own study organism so that we actually can transform them into icons. Good place to search for figures or images is Unsplash, Pixabay, and Pexels. I like to use Unsplash because it grants you worldwide copyright license to download, modify, distribute pictures for free, including for commercial purposes without attributing the authors and photographers. However, I would really encourage you to always give your kudos to those, who create them. Iris.
Yay!
Yeah. So we will work with Fisher's Iris dataset, and actually this will be our inspiration. So here we have already our plots, cool plots, very nice ones that we created with Chloe. And now we already have some color palette for this time. Later on, I will show you how to find your own color palette. And we also have short summary of the main findings. So sort of we found out that Setosa and has actually the widest sepals and shortest ones and so on. And I just sort of tried to verbally summarize it. So our data was mainly focused on the length and width of sepals and petals, and that's why I would actually completely ignore these style arms and I don't know, signals of yellow patches and veins. I would just focus on the main actual components which we were looking at during our data analysis. So yeah, basically what we will do now is I would sketch all of that. I would just sketch it like, yeah, that's a fake sketch. But anyway, I would do something like that. And then perhaps when sketching, I would start drawing. And for drawing, we will be using 3 different tools. And these are Curve tools, Scribble, and Freeform. But mainly we will use actually Curve. And you find them by going to Insert, Shape, and clicking on this tool. And you will see that if you try to click somewhere, and then each time when you want to change the direction, just click again. And for example, then you want to stop, right? Or you just make some mess. Remember, you can just do a few steps, go back by saying delete, 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 delete. Oh. And like this, you are back in the place where you wanted to be. And you can actually close this tool, close the shape, if you come to the starting point, or you can just stop wherever and just press enter. And now you have new shape. And now, for example, we can right click on this shape. And again, you see, you have here edit points. And with these edit points, you can now just drag them wherever you want. And actually even right click again and say close path, because hey, we want to have closed path. And fill it. So yeah, that will be actually the technique. Yeah.
How do we add more points?
Add more points. It's very simple. You can or just right click and say edit points, and just actually you can just add point by right clicking and again add point, or you can actually just click on it and drag it and the point will be created. If you just wait that your cursor changes, you just actually create a new point. Yeah. Okay, let's start drawing iris. I think we all have a empty PowerPoint. So I would go now actually back to the previous one, and I would just copy the text and figures and these beautiful palettes, color palettes, and just take them with me to the next PowerPoint where we will be actually drawing.
So the pictures aren't in the downloaded.
Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, about the pictures. Please search for your own pictures. I found these. I found these pictures on internet, and for that reason, I didn't want to share them or distribute them just in case. So you can actually just have some browser open, or you can actually follow mine here. Or you can actually use the same figures you have from the morning session. Yeah. So that can work too, just to have a bit of inspiration. Yeah, okay, so let's start drawing. We also have our sketch, right? We know more or less what we want to do. So let's begin. I would begin with Sepals. Actually, just for the sake of, let's take the sketch as well there and have it here. I will just put it so that I don't forget what exactly. Okay, we can start with sepals, and we can start with setosa. Setosa has, iris setosa has the widest and shortest, so it will be pretty squarish. We can go to icons, insert shapes, curve. And now I will try to just recreate iris sepal like I see it on the sketch. And I will close the shape. And now I will just, I will let it. It's okay. I will say edit points. And now by editing points, I will just sort of make it a bit better, or maybe smooth something, or just try to make it a bit more like sepal. And now I will just make 3 copies, because we want to create different irises, right? But we also want to keep sepals so that we can then show how they compare in width and length. And now I will just drag them together. And actually I will edit. No, it's okay. I will now merge the shape. Once you think that it looks quite well, just select all the 3 shapes we have here and go to shape format and merge shapes, union. and union. And now we can actually color it. But because, for example, we don't have the right color over here, we can go to more colors and use eyedrop tool and drag it or directly to the figure that we have here or to actual palette that we have here. And let's say, okay. And what I will do is also, for example, if you don't have this side tool open, just click on Format Pane and then it will open for you. And now I will also set, because these are sepals, so these are the leaves. I don't know, but the ones below petals, we will sort of put them a bit slightly transparent. And let's make the, yeah. And actually this one I will also color blue too. So the line will be blue and the iris will be blue because this is the small iris setosa, or I think it's Arctic iris. So it's really small, cute. So we have our sepal. Let's create petal leaf. This one, again, the same. Let's go just to insert. You might, and shapes, and again, curve. And let's start creating petal. It's supposed to be the smallest of all the 3 species. So yeah, I would just start clicking. Every time you want to change the direction, just make a click. And for example, if you just, again, oh, that was terrible. I will just go to delete, 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 and it will bring me back to the place where I think it looks quite fine. And I will close the shape and right click and then edit points. And now I can start making it a bit more sepalish. If that's a word, like llama.
Llama.
Yeah. And for example, like here, I want perhaps to just how to say, like to just adjust one side of the leaf, not both. What you can do is click the point and hold Alt, and then you can actually just manipulate with one handle.
What's Alt on your Mac keyboard?
Alt or Option. Yeah. And this sepal, I will color it blue as well and make it non-transparent. And actually, I will make it just a bit smaller because it looks like petals should be smaller. Sorry, petal. And yeah, and I will make 3 copies. And I will drag it here. And now, actually, I will do copies now. And sort of form this iris bird perspective view of iris. And now I will just merge all these 3 shapes. Again, we select all of them, go to shape format, merge shapes, and click on union. And now I can just make it like a bit like that. I will delete this. And actually now when I want to move this iris, you will notice, oh, it's really terrible because sometimes you have to click on both shapes to move them. So for that reason here, this group keyboard shortcut is useful, or you can just select both shapes which you want to group and then right click and click on the group. And you group them, and here it's iris, and now we can resize it without worrying how petals and sepals will look like. Voila!
Yay!
So that's our iris, setosa. We still have to create iris virginica and iris virginica and iris versicolor. Yeah, I think we are a bit short with time, but I will try to do it a bit. Yeah?
Yeah, take your time.
Okay, so let's do it. Let's actually now we know that sepals of versicolor are sort of just slightly longer and slightly wider than setosas. So I will just copy paste the same sepal, and now I will just try to reform it from here. I will drag it down and go to edit points, and I will delete this point because it's pretty easy, and just close it. And I can check the form of these sepals. It's quite similar to the ones of setosa, only that it is closes here in a way, something like that. I will use handles to control the how extreme the curve should be. Now I will also bring these ones here inside. Now this one changed. Yeah, so like that. No, this one I will not. You will notice that this is actually quite a meditating thing. It can take a while, but yeah. This one was moving. So yeah, I think that one was okay. It's okay. It is longer. It is actually. It should be a bit wider. Yeah, like that. Anyway, so now I will change it, color it. Again, just go to more colors. Take your eyedrop tool and just drop it.
Wait, can you show the eyedrop tool thing again?
Yeah, sure. It is more colors. And then when you need to select some colors, you have eyedrop tool, and you can basically, you can have your web browser open and just drop it directly on web page or somewhere. So you don't need to be importing anything. So we will also actually have this one 30% transparent just to keep it consistent. Let's make, yeah. Yeah, I will do the copies here now actually, just to keep them small. And now we do sepal. Sorry, oh, it's so confusing. Petal. And this one, from Versicolor, it is just slightly bigger and slightly wider, which is perfect for us. We will just drag it up and right, so just resize it. Again, let's color it the same purple. And let's make smaller copy. And yeah, no. So it's good to have, when you have your own study organism, probably it's good, obviously, to try to find some position of it where it is most distinctive, that is most easy to recognize the information which you want the reader to actually find out. So for that reason, we went for bird perspective, yeah. So I will also group these sepals now, or actually I will merge them rather.
When do you choose group versus merge?
Well, you want to, if you merge them, that means that I cannot manipulate their colors individually anymore. While if I group some shapes, I can still, despite grouping them, for example, now I will group the two with the shortcut. Now that I group them, I can still actually just take one shape if I really want to. However, a group allows me that I can also at the same time not worry if they will resize wrongly. So for that reason, I tend to have both there. Yeah. So Virginica will be just slightly bigger. And now we will do, oops. Okay, so this was versicolor. Let's write it down. Yeah, let's write it down. This one is Sepals. Where is my text? Yeah, this one is Tosa, and we will also have Virginica. So sort of like keeping words of our graphical abstract to minimum, but still telling the most crucial things. Now versicolor. And now we will also make the Virginica finally. So again, I will just take this sepal, and actually Virginica, I'm not sure if you can see it, maybe not, but Virginica has more roundish leaf. So I will try to emphasize that. It is longer and just a bit roundish on the end. So let's go to edit points and just drag this point upper. And this one's a bit closer. We still need to keep Virginica as wide as versicolor according to our results, but that's about it. It can actually be much longer. So if we want to keep the width, we can just a bit manipulate these two handles, and that's it. Yeah. And now we can color it into blue. Again, we go to more colors, eyedrop, and over here. And the same we do with this one. I don't need to use eyedrop anymore because it is already the latest color that I've used. I will just add a bit more roundish. Okay, like that. Ooh. Think. Yeah. And now let's take it away, make it a bit smaller. 3 copies. I mean, it looks like a bit crowded at the moment, but we will try to make some space. And then this pillar, we also just make it a bit bigger. How is it going? Is it like a our Sepals?
You're a little faster than me, but we are getting there. Also, like once you merge something, can you unmerge them?
No, you can. That's the bad side of merging.
Oh no.
That's why grouping is good, because if you merge, you're almost like, I don't know, maybe someone in the group knows, like in the workshop, knows a trick how to unmerge things. I don't. That's why I prefer grouping them.
So is curve kind of your main shaping tool?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah. Okay, this versicolor. No, sorry. Oh Jesus, Virginica. Okay, we have Virginica. Right. I will just now, to recreate this abstract, we actually already have now. Don't worry if you are a bit, need a bit more time, just take it easy. It's just important that you know now there are options to actually manipulate the shapes in PowerPoint. So take your time, but I will just try to start creating the abstract. And to do so, I think we have actually shapes pretty much ready. I just need to regroup these two so that it doesn't move. So I just go to group. And we have this, something is missing, our referral leaf. Okay, this we can do in the other place. So let's go to our next PowerPoint. I will just move that things to the next one where I will be actually trying to make the abstract ready. So I will just select all these elements and drag them with me. You can actually make, just select all, and you won't get, you won't get this shape because I sort of made it by default to be part of your abstract, of your PowerPoint. Right. And actually I can just yeah, so to now Sepals, I will have the 9 so that they are comparable among each other. This one I have to make slightly smaller, right? This one can be as big as it wants, and betas go here. Maybe we want to just a bit slightly more emphasize the differences in their length by a bit more showing the contrast. And also these ones, the flowers should be, perhaps we could align them to the center. So I would just select the tree and go to arrange, and then under align, and here I would align to slide. I would select actually align to slide, and then go once again to align, and then I would select align to the middle. And now they're completely in the middle. I would just drag them a bit closer together.
Is there any way to resize your grouped object and maintain your aspect ratio of like to not get it all either really stretched out or really scrunched up?
The grouped object.
Yeah, so like if you want to make it smaller, how do you make sure it looks exactly like it is, but just smaller?
Well, let's try.
See how it like gets scrunchy or?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It should be definitely. Why is this one? So if I'm holding Alt, yeah, it's just resizing the same. Yeah, I don't know. I usually just go from, if you go basically, you know, if you choose this point, which is in the corner, it shouldn't get any scrunchy because you're choosing, press shift.
Aha!
Cool.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's shift.
There you go.
So we have it now, shift. Cool. Thank you, Sarah. I will actually use it now a lot. So let's have shift and just resize it, and these two as well, these three.
Oh man,
that's
game
awesome.
changer.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are, and basically now just the main text. I will have it here. So setosa, versicolor. Virginica, and I will also add iris, giant iris. And actually, if we want to emphasize that what we were doing were actually, you know, width and length, what we can do is take one example and make it black, let's say, so that it is not actually associated with any of them. And I will also take one example of this sepal, and then just make it also black, so it will be gray. Why is not? Oh, okay. Yeah, make it a bit transparent. And yeah, just to sort of emphasize their length and width, we can just perhaps add arrows, and we can move them arrows with our keyboard a bit down or up. And yeah, I mean, there will be these attach points, which actually by default adjust you the longest point from the longest and from the widest. So for that reason, I would probably still spend some time here adjusting the actual width of the shape to be how to say, like really horizontal. That would just make them red. Yeah, and then this is basically it. We have our iris, and we can just regroup all these objects and then use shift and just make it smaller or however we want. It really depends on us. Yeah, perhaps we could also add a bit of text here, like just to tell the reader that this is sepal and there is petal, sepal. Such a weird word. And here we have petal. And then whenever you want to align or make your objects to be, you know, sort of distributed properly, you can always go to here, just select the object and go to arrange, and you have all possibilities. You can align them to the slide or align to selected object. So if for example, I would choose 2, then I guess it should be aligned to selected object. And then once again, align to the center, they would go all together. So that's a good thing. Over here now, we could still, of course, add some text that we had in previous slide. I mean, if we would really want, we could play still with text, like how to edit, resize the shape of text, to sort of emphasize how setosa is the widest and the smallest and so on. But I guess pretty much the information is already here. But I mean, we could still find some space to add it. But I think it looks quite well. What do you think? All right, let's, I would suggest that actually now we have a short, like 5-minute break or something. And after that, here I have some shortcuts that are helpful, that basically summarizing everything what we were doing right now, which you can check once you're drawing. But let's have a coffee break, and then we will resume in, all right, yeah, let's have a 10-minute coffee break. We can change that, we know how to. Let's do it from 14:30 to 14:40.
Okay, yeah.
Or 40. And then we resume and start free drawing our study organisms. And actually, this time you still have opportunity to upload your images of the things you want to draw. I really encourage you to do that, because it's really rewarding to have your own very own icons.